All right, we are live on YouTube, and I'm gonna start sharing my screen. Oops, sorry. We have already 18 participants. We'll give it a couple of minutes, and then we can get started if you'd like.
Whenever you want.
Okay, we'll just give it a couple more minutes to see if more people will join, and then we can get started.
It's still on you, no. Yes.
No, we will all be on.
I can hear you all, so.
هذا فات.
I was thinking we should take pictures to put them on the screen.
Okay, let's get started if you'd like. Are we ready?
Ready.
Okay, very good. So thank you all for joining us today. This webinar is hosted by the Toronto community. My heartfelt thanks to Rafael Haddad, who's here to tell us about his success story with his operation in Lebanon, and to the moderator of this webinar, Fadwa Mhanna, co-founder at 137 ID. Just quickly over some logistical items. Everybody will be muted except for the panelists. And if you have any questions at any point in time, please type them into the Q&A box. We will be checking on an ongoing basis and try to incorporate throughout the discussion with Rafael. And then definitely we'll have some 15 minutes at the end to address any questions. Just very quickly on LabNet's mission, LabNet is dedicated to enable tech entrepreneurs and professionals of Lebanese descent succeed on a global stage. It is the premier diaspora network for high-tech professionals in North America. Our mission sits on 3 pillars: networking our members, nurturing the next generation, and connecting back to Lebanon. We have about 2,500 members in North America, 13 North American communities, and we currently have 2 active professional communities, early in career and women in tech. This is a video we put at the end of 2022 to show all the accomplishments that we did throughout the year. This organization is mainly driven by volunteers, so my thanks to everyone who's contributed to making our year such a successful year. I'm going to play it. It's just a couple minutes.
We're excited to announce the launch of the LabNet Job Board, a community-powered platform for our community. Our goal is to facilitate the connection between hiring managers and job seekers. LabNet members can easily post job openings on the platform and share it with the wider LabNet community of job seekers.
community has launched the LebNet WIT Fellows program, which equips the next generation of Lebanese women technologists with the skills they need to explore and successfully transition into careers in tech post-university. We have finished reviewing our applications and will be announcing our inaugural cohort of fellows very soon.
Our scholarship program's objective is to support Lebanese students in high-tech planning to pursue their graduate studies in North America. Funds have been raised, and scholarship applications will be open in March 2023 to senior students from 6 universities in Lebanon.
And with that, I turn it over here. This is the Toronto community who is hosting this event. And I'm going to turn it over at this point to Fadwa to take us through this webinar. Thank you so much, Fadwa.
Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Janine, the great introduction and the great work LebNet is doing. And we're very, very happy to host the first event of the year at LebNet Toronto. So we have a new format this time. We're both doing it live in person. So we're all seated and gathering here in a nice group of participants who chose to join in person as well as remotely. So there will be other events to be announced by LebNet Toronto. So we're definitely counting on your presence and participation and every kind of support we can have together. At this point, today is going to be a kind of a heartfelt discussion with Rafael Haddad, our guest for tonight. And we would like to get to know more about his journey. How did he start? How did he get to around all his career journey? What led him to founding his latest businesses? And how he adopted a new model, or how did he succeed in establishing a model that we also, as a roadmap for other companies to adopt while growing their businesses in North America or Europe, and also supporting Lebanese students and Lebanese graduates. So at this point in time, I'm going to first introduce my guest, Rafael Haddad, and then we're going to start getting to know more about his work and his business. So welcome, Rafael.
Thank you, Fadwa.
Okay, so first question before we get into the formal part of the presentation, I wanted to do a quick intro of your journey, but then ask you to share your journey in your own words. So first, about Rafael Haddad. So Rafael Haddad has founded Aviapro Consulting in 2014 and also JetCraft with his partner. Now, Rafael has, before doing that, he has a very wealthy experience that spans 25 years, client-facing role in the aviation business. And we're going to cover more of that. Now, he has a established record of multi-billion-dollar achievements and sales in the aircraft industry, and has wore many hats and led many growth in many regions, and has a wealth of experience to share with us tonight. Now, despite being a world traveler and having lived most of his life internationally, Rafael has remained very close to Lebanon and has adopted a model that he will share with us tonight, whereby he's managed to combine his growth and his expertise, as well as staying close to Lebanon, staying close to home, and as well as benefiting the new generation and passing the baton to the next generation. So Rafael holds an MA in economics from Ottawa University and a BSc in aerospace engineering from Kansas University. And he's here with us tonight, and I will ask him, maybe my first question is the journey. Like, before we go into the more formal part about Aviapro, tell us about you, like your journey in life. How did you start in Lebanon? and how life, happened, and you Toronto, and you called Canada home.
Thank you very much, Fadwa, for the very nice introduction and the opportunity. My journey has been just many of us, many of the Lebanese communities or Lebanese professionals that had to leave their home, not by choice, but because the situations forced them to do so. So yes, I did finish my high school in Lebanon at Saint Joseph Hantoura, and then I entered l'École supérieure d'ingénieurs de Beyrouth, l'ESIB. But then the situation happened that the 1982 wars, and conflicts in Lebanon pushed me out. So I had an acceptance with the university in Virginia. So I went to Virginia to continue my engineering career. From then I went to Kansas, where I graduated in aerospace engineering. And then on my better half, at the time we were going to university, my better half and I, we decided to move on to Canada, and I made my way to McGill, but did not finish McGill. I finished at Ottawa University, the Master's in Economics. Then I started different jobs, then ended up at Bombardier Aerospace, starting with an engineering position. And then I was able to climb the ranks until I was vice president of sales for different regions in Bombardier Aerospace commercial aircraft. Then on, I left Bombardier in 2014. And then I guess retirement that doesn't suit me, and we started Pro Consulting. Started with one person, and then on now we are globally about 20 people. And of course, as stated in your intro, Aviapro became a partner with Jetcraft Global, and we created a company called Jetcraft Commercial, which is a company that's very active in buying, selling, structuring leases for commercial aircraft. So that's in short where I am right now, and here we are.
Another amazing journey.
Thank you.
So I'm going just to leave you with tell us more about Aviapro in words, and then we'll start the questions.
So I can probably proceed to a presentation. So very quickly, the presentation here, the bulk of the presentation is to talk about not Aviapro, but what we did, and the difference that we are trying to make in Lebanon. Aviapro started in 2014 as a consulting business. It grew multiple folds to what it is today. With the advent of the latest crisis in Lebanon in 2019, and we saw how everybody was leaving Lebanon. So, and we thought that maybe we can we can have our own mark on things, on professionals, and how we can find a way to help. So let me tell you a little bit about Aviapro, and tell you how we have an entity here, and we have a model that we were executing in Canada, and we translated it to Lebanon. So just a quick word about Aviapro. I'm not going to bore you with all of this detail. Is that we are a boutique consulting firm that's active in the Asian industry, and we believe in face-to-face customer engagement and adding value to the business of our customers. Recently, we decided to develop online consulting solutions for our customers with two platforms, one called Avianalysis and one called RPM, and I will tell you later why I'm naming those. In terms of our presence worldwide, we have a global presence. Right now, our two big offices are in Toronto, Canada, and in Jounieh, Lebanon, and we have support staff, inspectors, and actually subject matter experts that are living across the world. Just to give you a flavor of who our customers are, they're airlines, they're industrial aerospace companies, as well as consulting firms acting in aerospace. So, basically we're selling we're selling different expertise in the different and various fields of aviation. Now, I wanted to mention Jetcraft. Jetcraft is an aircraft trading company that was established in the US about 60 years ago, in which in 2014, the principal of that company, his name is Jahid Fazal Karim, and myself, we agreed to add to the great success of Jetcraft being a major trader of private jets, the division that would trade in commercial aircraft. So I am right now running the commercial aircraft arm of this company, and I sit on the board of that company. Now let's talk about really the subject of this webinar and this meeting is Lebanon and why Lebanon. Initially, how it started with all the issues that started in late 2019, and we saw the exodus of Lebanese young, skilled, high-skilled individuals out of Lebanon and going to America, going to Europe, going more and more to the Arabian Gulf and everywhere else. The economic downturn was really a major, how should I say, distress factor on the whole economy, on the whole, not only the economy, but the population of Lebanon. And we decided, we had some thoughts inside the company. Aviapro over here in Toronto was benefiting from the time employment supported by the Canadian government, was also benefiting from the co-op program that were administered by the universities here. So we thought, okay, we are hiring students here, we're hiring whether on co-ops, let's try to hire Lebanese students. So we started communicating with the different universities in Lebanon, and we communicated with all the major ones. At the end, we basically landed on Balamand University, with whom we signed an MOU in 2021. And why Balamand versus the others is Balamand has an aviation department, has an aeronautical engineering department, which we saw a certain affinity working with them. And actually the management of that university was very aggressive. They said, we would like to sign an MOU with you, and we would like it to be exclusive to us, which is, I think, ended up by called a right of first refusal. So we basically proposed to them certain initiatives. The first one was to employ part-time students from the university. And with that, the university was very accommodating. They actually gave us not only access to their students, but also they gave us an office with 24 hours electricity, 24 hours high-speed internet. And for us Lebanese who go to Lebanon, you know how valuable that is. That is a very valuable commodity. So they did facilitate, and they helped in the recruitment. They actually for the students that we wanted, because we're active in aeronautical engineering and we're active into programming because of the online platforms that we're developing. They basically did initial interviews for us, and they helped us through the recruitment process. And with that, we were able to have a very nice pool of students that actually joined us. And eventually, fast forward a little bit, they kind of graduated so that we ended up hiring them as full-time employees with us. So when we hired them full-time employees with us, so we decided we're not gonna fly them over to Canada and put them here. No, why don't we open an office in Lebanon and try to accommodate their career paths from over there, which we did. And along that, of course, there was a second part of our MOU with Balamand University was to create a co-op program, because Lebanese universities don't know what a co-op program is, or they don't have it the way we have it in Canada, which is you work one semester full-time and then you study one semester full-time. Okay, so we tried that, it worked. Actually, we have now co-op students and part-time students that are. So the third phase of our cooperation with Balamand is to actually support master's thesis. So we're discussing sustainable aviation fuel graduate program, or graduate thesis, I should say, with the university, and we're thinking about other aspects. So, ESG is another subject we will be talking to them about. So now we have this part-time student co-op program, and we're now have discussed the master's thesis support. So with that, we have an office, a full-blown office in Beirut, and let's not kid each other. It wasn't easy to support an office there. To find an office, to furnish an office, and to put a modern high-speed internet in the office, as well as signing for the generator so that you have electricity and power. Everything is a negotiation. So I don't kid anyone and say, though, it's easy. No, it's not easy, but the aim here is to do something easy. The aim here is to contribute and try to find people that otherwise would probably go to the Gulf or Europe or North America. Okay, now our footprint is not that big, but we hope that could be multiplied with other companies that are in Canada or North America that can mimic that model. So right now we are very happy with our teams, and I want to say as well is that we were really impressed by the pool of candidates that we had to dip in to recruit not only our students that became full-time, but also we hired locally non-graduate, well, people that did not graduate from Balamand, but we also hired. So we have right now 12 employees in Lebanon, which is very good, and we're going to continue to grow that. And hopefully we're ready to actually lead the way to other companies in North America, show them how we did it. The experience is not easy, it's tough, but we have the roadmap, so we can share that roadmap with others. I just want to show you here very quickly a product that actually most of it, maybe it was designed in Toronto, but most of it done by performance engineers that we recruited in the universities, and that on this, as well as programmers. So we designed this online analysis service that is real-time, very turnaround, very cost-effective, very time-saving customers. So without this pool of very bright graduates and students from Lebanon, would have been able to do it. We're also developing we're now in the midst of creating another product called RPM, which is a network planning tool for airlines. So I think we're going to increase our pool of students or actually programmers in Lebanon and engineers. So they help us bring this tool, which will probably integrate an AI component so that it's really a next generation product. So that's pretty much it. I hope I didn't bore you too much, but if you have any questions, please, let's do it.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing. Amazing. And it's not an easy endeavor, what you've done. So we want to have an honest discussion about, of course, what went wrong and how to do it. So you made made it easy for somebody else to replicate this model.
Yeah.
The purpose of us coming together tonight is to show your model, to say this is one model of growing internationally while hiring Lebanese. And yes, there are challenges. There are going to be impediments on the road. There is a way to do it much easier than even what you have done, because you're willing to support the next company who's willing to adopt your model. So this is it. How can we dig deeper into the model? So you had a university, Balamand University, you had access to their pool of students, and you had maybe the main design, as you said, is done in the main, maybe project management, and you had the students rotating with the co-op program and the part-time, and then moving to full-time. So just let's dig deeper into like the time frame. How long did it take you when you started to having an office, a fully operational office? What were the steps along the way the challenges you met, and really describing it in.
Very good. So basically, we started thinking about this back in 2021, late 2021, and most of the research was done from here and towards the end of 2021 and by our local Canadian team colleagues that knew nothing about Lebanon. So they did the research about universities. They contacted the universities of Lebanon. They tried to actually talk to universities to replicate what they're doing with McMaster and U of T and the universities around us. And then basically we practiced it in 2021, where we had local part-timers and local co-ops. So we kind of like said, how can we transpose that model that we have here over there? Can we do it first? So that's what the attempt was, to contact the universities. We saw it a little bit, I would say it was difficult, no, but maybe because the situation wasn't that great in Lebanon. 2021 was a really terrible year. So anyway, it took a lot of negotiations, I think. Now that we have the roadmap, we can share it in detail. But then we were also lucky to talk with some open-minded academic leaders at the university, especially in Balaman, which they opened up the doors for us, right? And they wanted to have a constructive discussion. It wasn't difficult, so they wanted. So this is great. So the want was there, so the need was there. So it's all about how to execute. So then the recruitments, we had to design, we had to explain to them how we're doing it here, and try to see. They actually were very reactive in matching how they didn't resist. They actually at it, and so okay, we cannot do it this way, but maybe we will try. It ended up working out. So it took us a good 3 months to get that set up, and then we had a ceremony, and it was ceremonial event, and it was advertised over social media as well. Following that, of course, we immediately hired students. They gave us the locals, the locale from which we were working. Then the transition to the real world, basically setting up the real office, okay, and how to pay them. Okay, you can't send money. Sending money through the banking system in Lebanon is unfortunately very difficult. They take commissions of like the 3,000, and when our students and fresh graduates, or they're getting paid in, so when you give immediately 3,000, of your pay plus a transaction fee plus, so we had to find a mechanism of get, I don't want to say cash, but it was cash into certain, into the hand of the leader over there that was able to pay these guys, because the bank system doesn't work. So we had to adapt. That wasn't easy. Like even negotiating banks. Finally, now I'm negotiating with the banks to have like one central, so then they would have SIM accounts with them, and the banks not to charge fees to all of them, but to charge me. So we're trying to work out that system as well. And then finding an office and having a serious discussion, North American style, to rent an office. Keep dreaming, right? So lucky enough, I have a local lawyer who was able to cooperate with me, and we were able to land a space that we turned into with the help of the lessor, the renter, to turn it into a very modern office. Came the dilemma of the motor, the generator. So we had to basically adapt. Initially, we bought UPSs, to basically, when there is electricity, to charge the UPSs so that they can work, they can connect their laptops when their laptops run out of batteries, right? And then the internet also, that wasn't an easy. That was like a 6 month dilemma until we actually got the ASL DSL high speed internet. It's not easy, but the aim here was not to give up. Okay, so we had to go down to the Ojero station, you know, because you had to get it from the government. Of course, you can do your own direct links and stuff like that, but the setup is not there. So then comes the matter of the heating. You know, when the heater doesn't work because your generator can give you only so much ampere, so you can run your heating. So basically, you have to go and change your heating and cooling system so that it adapts with what your so a lot of different. But one thing that we did that's very, I think, and I recommend that to everyone: don't try to force your North American way of doing things. So what we did is the few leaders that we selected over there to run this, we gave them, we said, okay, your mandate is to go and figure it out. Here's the budget. Here's the aim goal. You do it. You deal with it. You know, these guys are adapted to that thinking, to finding to get things to be done their way. Actually, you know, we're Lebanese, all of us, but honestly, we don't think the same way as them. They adapted. They evolved to be able to with more how to say, uncertainty and the what ifs. We would actually get very frustrated with all the what if this happened with. They can deal with it. So you just have to delegate and empower these people because they're very smart and very astute, and they can adapt to their situation better than us adapting to their situation. So that, I think, that also was very important. Also, we needed to make them part of the team. So regular visit, activities with them, you know, like hiking activities, skiing activities, you know, beach activities, you know. So you have to, because you know what, it's not easy over there. I know they're very active, or they claim they are very active, but you know, there's a different reality behind the curtains. So keep them engaged, encouraged, bonuses at Christmas, especially if they're doing very good, you know. So that's very, very so we have to deal with the human aspect, the economic situation of Lebanon, the archaic situation of Lebanon, okay? And don't give up. You know, the aim, if your aim, but is our business benefiting? Definitely we are benefiting, okay? Those guys, they're not getting North America's salaries, right? They're getting excellent salaries for the local economy, way better than if they had been employed by local companies, and they're getting their cash payment monthly without a day of delay, and that's critical. I don't know. Did I miss on anything? I think this is pretty much it.
A very interesting sentence you told me before is that it's easy to give up.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to replicate the model. So
yes.
So the purpose, really one of the purposes, someone's today inspired enough with what you've done, and they want now to start replication. You want to tell them what the don'ts and the do's, kind of what you said. It's easy to give up.
Yeah.
But if you start this process that at every problem or at every challenge I'm going to meet, I'm going to give up. So you will never going to complete this process. So this is, I think that we need to clear out that it's not going to be an easy process because of all what you mentioned. What we take for granted, electricity and internet, are not a given. So we have to go back and cover the basics to be able to do business.
That's right.
So it's easy to give up, but if you start the process with I'm not giving up, and this end is to set up an office in Lebanon to recruit Lebanese graduates and hire in Lebanon, then it's feasible. That's mainly, I think, is the message.
Totally right. You know, and after all, let's be honest, you know, we're not hypocrites here. We're in the business of making money, right? But we can make money and adapting to certain realities, okay? At the end of the day, we will benefit, okay? We'll benefit both ways. One is from a social responsibility side, but also economically, we will benefit. Economically, two ways is because if you're getting smart, highly educated, talent, and they're not costing you an arm and a leg, right? So there's that benefit, and of course you are contributing. You feel good, right? There's the social aspect, but also you wanna give back to that country that gave you a lot. No, don't give up. You can't give up. If your aim is to go and think it's going to be a walk in the park and everything's going to get done like with a snap of a finger, no, it's not going to work. So you have to be patient. You have to hired the right people, and now shortcut. Okay, we can show you the shortcuts how we did it.
So two things actually. Before I go into the next steps, but the outcome when you were vetting the students, doing the interviews and hiring and going through your normal hire, fire, and always the quality that we want to cover as well, the quality of the students, and what did you find out on, because you had both the Canadian students?
Yes, the quality Canadian students are very quality. So we hire them all the time and graduate. Actually, soon we're going to be hiring a university graduate here onto our staff. Not all 12 employees in Lebanon are from university. So some are actually just direct hires locally. We also the part-time students, not all of them graduated with us. Okay, some of them decided to. Actually, there is one that's actually doing a PhD at Penn State. Okay, but however, she's helping us, in contact with us, encouraging us. Okay, so some of them decided to go and do something else, but the ones that hang on, we offer them good jobs and they transition with us. The quality is incredible. And not only from the students, but also have to give credit to the university, because they did the civic part. They did the Mankhoj. Okay, they selected the top and they passed them to us. We interviewed them, and then we decided which ones we wanna keep. Yes, we got the crème de la crème, but the pool is big. The pool of good people is big. But also we hired locally some good talent directly from the Lebanese market, and excellent. Like we just hired our a marketing specialist. We're asking Christina and I were comparing notes on this. She's excellent. Same thing with our digital marketeer, also excellent. We the other guys, we hired people airline IT systems, also excellent. Performance engineers, So, and was it difficult? No, our biggest problem when we were interviewing was how to pick between those 5 finalists, who to pick, and so that was the toughest part, because they're all good. So anyway, so that's what it is.
So now we want to talk about replicating this model. So for those who would like to start to replicate that, are motivated enough, we want to give them a roadmap. How do we start, and can we help you as LabNet Toronto in the process for those who would like to replicate Raphael's model and would like to reach out? We encourage you to reach out if you want to set up a local presence or hire Lebanese. So definitely we would like you to reach out to us. So one step of starting the process is to write to Ray Lahoud. So it's Ray Lahoud. We're going to share with you at gmail.com. Ray is the head of the Toronto Steering Committee, and he's happy to help you now and to start the process. And he's going to coordinate with Raphael for all the steps. So if you like to set up your own office, you're not going to have to replicate everything Raphael has gone through, but really he's happy to share with you exactly like the steps, the shortcuts that he's been mentioning, the shortcuts of how to replicate his model in a much faster way. So for those who would like to replicate the model tonight, is there any quick nuggets here?
I think, I think I've said it all, honestly. Just that if we want to get into the tactics of it, like you said, contact Ray Lahoud, and would love to have a session with those interested parties. And actually, we might even make it easier for them with sharing our offices or other people's offices, and we give them the first help. I see there's quite a few questions coming.
Absolutely. So
yeah.
So I will definitely start sharing. Maybe one last thing I would like before we start taking questions from the audience in the room as well as online. It's not the only model of doing business in Lebanon and helping Lebanese. There is another colleague of ours that is also would like to mention tonight, Joseph Wehbe. He's also doing great work, and his work is supported by Lebanese Canada ICT mission, supported by USAID. So he's happy to organize meetings, some sessions to put you in direct contact with the Lebanese company. He's happy to share available companies in Lebanon to do specific works. So that's a model as well that we see very valuable in helping Lebanese. So there is no one way to help, of course, you know that, but we wanted to take the time to recognize Joseph and the Lebanese ICT work as well. So this is one of the start sharing. I'll just reach out to sheet to see the questions. Janine, would you have any questions, or we take questions from the audience first?
Fadwa, we have 10 questions in the Q&A if you'd like to go through that.
Absolutely. So Christian here is asking about how about cost and work ethics and control of quality, if they may ask salary range as well as struggles with that. Would you like to?
Hi, Christian. Yes, I do see the question. Christian, thank you for the question. You have multiple sections to it. So how about costs? In terms of salaries, salaries are very competitive to what we see in North America. So you would have to give have to pay in US dollars. If you want to get quality people, you have to pay in US dollars and cash. Lebanese pounds, as you know, they're fluctuating all over the map, so it's not the way to go. I would say in terms of salaries, depending on the level of expertise, I would say it could be around 50% from what we are paying here in North America, but over there, that's a lot of money. In terms of ethics, they are there. There is work ethics. They actually are going beyond what I was expecting. Excellent work ethics, especially if you empower them. And of course, it depends on who you are recruiting. Quality, as mentioned earlier, is impeccable. We have great universities in Lebanon, and the way the high schools are, you're always not gonna run out of talent. So talent is there, but of course you have to give it structure, right? So it's not that you have to structure them. You have to put them in the box where they have to be. They will operate within that control volume, and they will give you great work.
I think there's a follow-up question from Christian about backup plan in worst case scenario for power, telco, and internet.
Okay, as I mentioned earlier on, the power, of course, there is supposedly the power from the national power company, but we rely on power generators. You know, the famous motor, the generators, which is actually they have their own distributed network. And funny enough, in the office where we had a choice between one supplier or the other. So now there is competition, and we were able actually to leverage that competition and set up a metered system. So we pay for what we use. In terms of telecom, we were able, after a little bit of difficulty, to get a phone line, or actually multiple landline with a full high-speed internet, and it's actually working very well. The funny part is that when the electricity goes, as long as you have power to your router, you have internet. So you could continue work on your battery of the laptop and have internet work. So it's not an issue. And the internet connectivity is very good. I don't see an issue at all. It's a high speed. We do video conferencing. So we have a video conference set up here in the office in Toronto. We have a video conference set up over there. So people, we communicate. We have our weekly meetings, and we have the daily meetings between the different collaborators.
There is another similar question an ophthalmology office in Boston just established an office in Beirut. They have 9 employees. So congratulations. We're very happy to read that. Our biggest challenge is the high-speed internet. Any advice?
Yes. Basically, we had to wait until a national company called Ogero was out of the strike. So we had to manage and that business without that, but doing our own way through paying the private sector subscription. But once the Ogero came, the service came, it's actually very good. We haven't had any interruption. So you apply to get the service directly from the Ministry of Telecommunication and Ogero, and it should work. It works very well for us. It should work for you.
There is a follow-up question. What are the differences you saw when you took a model of recruitment from university, from being applied in North America to being applied in Lebanon, and what were the challenges and the positives?
They don't have a model of recruitment. So we had to come with our model of recruitment. Like did they have like a placement office like we have here in universities? No, but they had a couple of persons that were enthusiasts to help students find jobs. Okay. And, local companies, they do go to universities and they do fairs, fairs, yes. So they do fairs, career fairs to recruit students. So they are there, but in terms of mechanism of recruitment, the way we have it here, they don't have a placement office. So we had to work with them. They were very, very amenable, and they helped us do the recruitment. So it wasn't in terms of it's not the North American system. But you know what? If you show them the way, they'll adopt it, because Bala mandated what we told them we were getting here. So I think they're very open-minded, and they also want the best for their students. They want their students to get jobs, and they want their students to stay. Unfortunately, most of the companies that are in Lebanon are taking students out of Lebanon and putting them in the Gulf. That's not the way to go.
We have another question from Serjoun Skaf. Do the students who intern with you stay in the Lebanon office, or do they work at one of your offices abroad?
Well, one of the students that was a student, of course, they were working when they were student. They were working. Once he graduated, he basically said, "I like to work for you in your Canadian office." It's not that easy, and our mission is not to do that. My mission is to employ them over there and keep them there, right? So, and I think we came to a very nice package, financial package with, with all the benefits, so that he stays there, and he stayed. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with that person doing an excellent job.
Also from Serjoun, how easy was it to find a local leader capable of managing operations?
Well, the 2 leaders that are managers that are in the office, they had previous experience. Okay, so if you select the right people with the experience, and they have the leadership skills, and you put them in the right position, that is it's gonna bode well. So it all depends on your recruitment. It's the same issue that we have in North America. It depends how you recruit your managers. So it's no different. It's the onus is on you to recruit the right leaders. So like the 2 leaders we have in that office right now, they're managing things very well. One of them is managing all of the engineering team is managed. They have a chief or a leader who's managing them. And the programming is managed from here, but I think one of the guys will eventually become a lead, and will grow the team around him. And the person that is managing our office affairs is a civil engineer. She's doing very well. She knows how to, like when they came to install the heating and the cooling system, in charge of that, I didn't have to even worry about it. So they're leaders, us Lebanese, we have this leadership talent that comes with most of us.
Another related to the cost. So are you tracking the exact benefit to your business bottom line for employing that talent in Lebanon, as opposed to employing a local talent here, for example, the cost savings beyond the innovation and the impact on your brand and such things? So really bottom line.
Are you tracking the exact benefit to your business? Right now, our team in Lebanon is a back office team, so they're doing engineering work and they're doing programming work. But also, as I said, our finance person here in Canada, the vacation became redundant. So instead of recruiting here, we recruited that person in Lebanon, and that person is developed very well. They learn the same principles as us. That person is going now to study for a CPA, right? The same CPA we have here in North America. So, are they? Yeah, they're giving me the benefit. I'm getting a good return on my buck over there. Yeah, and bottom line, it's actually working out well.
I think another question touches on our Lebanese way of usually doing business. How did you make sure that the students you had were not ones that already connected or have the advantage because of previous connections had, since you said the university selected the pool of candidates first? So like the transparency of the process of selecting students.
There was no issue. They did their job. The university did their job. You know, you gotta give it to them. You know, I believe in one motto is that you give your trust until, to that person or entity until they lose it, right? So I gave them the trust in terms of helping us in the selection. They haven't failed us. They did very well, so I have no complaints.
And of course, you do your own selection after that.
Well, yeah, they give me a short list, and we've been lucky. Every shortlist they give us is very good. So, and when we also interviewed separately, we advertised and interviewed separately, our shortlist was also very good.
Okay, I'm starting to get some notes about being conscious of time. I wanted just to take maybe one or two questions from the room. Please, John.
This guy is Ahmad is the next schoolmate.
What is he asking, Ahmad?
1988. He's asking me, when did Danny Manning win the NCAA championship for Kansas University? 1988.
Okay.
But then he's asking a serious question. How would you describe and manage the investment risk given the political situation in Lebanon? This probably keeps most of us. Look, in today's world, it's all about video conferencing, using the cloud. So what is my risk? My risk of the few laptops I put over there, the few conferencing equipment, video conferencing, everything is on the cloud. If you're doing back office work, I don't need to explain it to him, especially he's a technology person himself. So everything is cloud. So thank you for AWS and others, of course. There's no risk. All the work they're doing is already here. So I'm not worried about that. The few desks, that's okay. So the risk is very minimal. The biggest risk is losing the talent that we have trained over there. But these are mobile. They will work from home, everywhere. And to shove, they can't work from Lebanon anymore. There are airplanes, right? They can ride on one of the planes and go somewhere else and continue their work. But that's not the aim. The aim is to create employment in Lebanon.
Chad?
Thank you, Rafi, for your presentation. A question on the elephant in the room regarding the time difference, the 7-hour or more difference. Did you consider this in distribute projects between your office here and there?
It's perfect, actually. The time advance, it's like we're working 24 hours. Work doesn't stop. So basically, in projects like the programmers over here, they close on a project, they work together and they're a team. So when he's doing something, the other continues, picks it up in the morning. So it's there's no issue there.
I have a question.
So
I want to thank you, Rafi. You're a brave man to really explore that building companies and really being successful in getting it done. That's really all the respect for.
Thank you.
Having said that, now we all look at budgets and finances and things. You have already a company here. And after going out there and spending also your resources to have another set office that maybe can be eliminated by growing your own current office here, less expense maybe, but you ended up going there with all the risk involved in getting all these small things done that here you don't worry about them. You were able to do. But at the end, one of the were about cost. Were you able really to analyze and say, hey, did I save money by being there? Or really, did I make the right choice by going there and at the bottom line, did I save money for my company and grow it the way that I wanted? Having another leadership being there where you have already your own office here, having you being worried about all other small things that you need to really worry about.
Actually, Sohail, no, not at all. The way businesses operate nowadays is there's no such a thing as local and international anymore. Like even my other business, the Jetcraft business, I have two people, also people in Montreal, and Singapore, and Sydney, in Paris. So the business reality has changed. The internet and artificial intelligence and technology today has facilitated things for us tremendously. We don't feel it. Like you can't work and say I'm local and stay here. No, actually, there's way more benefits in going local than staying local. I know you want to sell me another office, right? But definitely not. Actually, it's benefit to. The nice thing is that no, is there any cost? No, renting an office over there is I would say 1/3 of the cost of renting an office here in Toronto.
And actually, one of our clients was in the Middle East. So having the office in Lebanon made that, travel from Beirut to the other country, Middle East, very easy.
Yeah.
And saving as opposed to sending people from North America way down here. So it's global business.
Yeah.
So we have people right now today. I have someone in New Guinea. He's executing on a project. He lives in Sydney, so it's a few hours flight. It's not 15 hours flight sending somebody there. So actually, you have to be international nowadays. If you are in the fields we are in, you can't afford not to be international.
Okay, we have one last question and wrapping up because we have one left.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
So I commend using the universities as a way to have people there. It's an interesting strategy to do that. My question is about compliance with local laws for labor and hiring. Like, did you have to set up an entity in Lebanon to employ these people, or were you able to avoid that by being?
Well, the way we did it in order not to contravene with any laws is that we hired them as contractors. Okay, so that was the best way. So we actually consulted with our lawyers and our CPA, and we hired them all as full-time contractors. So they are actually working for us time. They should be treated as our own full-time employees with transportation allowance, and different stuff. And so by having a contractor employment agreement, you basically facilitate that aspect.
So as an employer from abroad, you don't have to do any insurance coverage.
By choice.
They can.
By choice.
Are they under the Canadian law?
So if you don't, like, we will have time to have more conversation on
Yes.
the room
Yeah.
here. So there's one
One more.
Yeah, there is one more
line,
question.
We will get the chance.
Yeah, there is one question asking you if you considered setting up an agency with expert and consultant that provide a one-stop shop to implement this model for foreign companies to do what you did.
I'm prepared to do that for free. Because remember, the aim here is to help our compatriots, in Lebanon. The aim is to help. It's not only to generate business. I'm ready to do it for free. And actually, I'm ready to collaborate with anyone who wants to set up such a thing. We could partner. That's probably one way to do it.
Okay, so wrap up here. So just a big thank you for all the audience in the room, for the attendees, for Janine and her help from LabNet, on the whole LabNet community and the LabNet community. As mentioned before, you will be able to watch this webinar along with previous LabNet webinars on the LabNet YouTube channel. We thank you again, and we thank you, Rafael Haddad, for the great work you're doing and
My pleasure.
the input tonight. And I hope you inspired a lot of attendees to start hiring Lebanese and thank you.
There's more questions coming.
All right. We will forward any questions, but this is thanking you for your passion and commitment.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for